This is episode 6, a solo episode with me, and we're going to be talking about ending the year, going into the new year, journaling, coaching, garden planning, all the stuff that runs through my head every day. And I'm recording this on a Saturday, so this is going to be relaxing and fun. Hello, it's Tiffany, and welcome back to Cultivating Guts, a podcast where we discuss gardening, homesteading, gut health, and following your intuition. I'm so excited to be back with you guys. I have had so many insightful moments and ideas on really important topics that I'm wanting to share with you on the podcast. And today I'm actually video recording this podcast, so you can always watch us and drop in and see the video over on YouTube at Tiffany. Actually at youtube.com/Tiffany Hinton. And it's kind of like we're Zooming over besties. We're over there on YouTube. And if you're over there watching this episode on YouTube, hello. We are eye gazing. It's so fun. And I'm so excited you're here. I have had so many recent thoughts over the last few weeks, and I want to dive into those today on the podcast. I have done my closeout of 2021. I've started setting intentions and goals for 2022. There's a shift in our business. There's a lot of things happening, and there's a shift in the energy. And I want to dive into all of that today. I want to give you guys some journaling prompts, some of the prompts I use myself, and some guidance, but I also want to talk about what's coming in 2022 and just have a real intimate conversation with you today. So I'm so excited you're here. I know it's right before the new year. I'm recording this actually a few weeks early, so it'll be ready and out the door and ready to go. And all of this is super in my head right now too, because I've been really diving into my own journals and my own goals for the next year and just kind of feeling it out. So super excited to get this conversation going today. But before we get started, I want to make sure that you subscribe, rate, and review the Cultivating Guts podcast. Send me a screenshot of your review to Tiffany@gfmomcertified.com, and we will send you our 4-day Hacking Your Health Gut Detox Plan. Also, if you are listening, screenshot your favorite part and share it with us on Instagram at GFMomCertified or at Cultivating Guts, which is just our podcast Instagram channel. I love reposting it, and I'm excited to hear what you thought of today's episode. I'm so grateful to you and all of our amazing listeners for helping us grow the podcast. And by the way, today I got an announcement. We are at rankings 132 out of all of the how-to podcasts. So thank you for that. We are climbing the ladder, climbing up the rankings, and share it with more people. And before we head into the show, here's a quick word from 2 of our sponsors. So I'm super excited for our sponsor, Holistic Wellness. It is a CBD company that we found actually online during 2021, and we've been using their products in our house, our family, myself, our girls. I even gave some to a friend of mine and for her pet, and it is truly an amazing product. The uniqueness that Holistic Wellness delivers is that it's pre-portioned servings in a broad spectrum CBD in a portable beverage stick. So you could actually take a package, you can stick it in your purse, you can, pack it in your suitcase, whatever you need to do. But it's also in a stick that, like I said, is pre-portioned. So every grab and go stick contains 10 milligrams of CBD wellness, and they have a proprietary blend and it's water soluble, their hemp extract, which is also very, very unique in that you can put it in water, you could put it in juice, you could put it in another liquid. It completely dissolves, and it's truly amazing. The other thing that is really, really awesome about the Holistic Wellness is that they have different blends intentionally. So this beauty blend has collagen in it. So it helps your nails, your skin, your different parts of your body that need a little extra boost. They have a stress blend, which has lemon balm, or you're more familiar with what's called Melissa. And it is relaxing. It is also amazing. But if you're actually looking for something to relax you to go to sleep, they actually have a sleep stick. And in the sleep stick, it has a little bit of melatonin to help with your sleep, along with chamomile, which is shown to help relax the body. They also have a digest blend for those that are listening to our podcast that have stomach problems, complaints, bloating, just issues with digesting. And it contains papaya and turmeric, which are great for digestion. and it's awesome as well. I like this one. This is probably my favorite. The Digest Blend. It's an orange package. They also have an Energizer blend that has turmeric and ginger in it. And the Energizer blend is great if you need to pick me up in the afternoon, like you hit that 3 o'clock low and you don't really need to reach for caffeine. You just need something to pick up your body. They have a 10-pack that you can order on their website. And what's truly amazing is that for this holiday season, we have a special coupon for our listeners, and the code is GFMOM, so GFMOM, and it saves 25% off your order. That is like unheard of, really, to get 25% off your whole order. You can utilize this by going to the Holistic Wellness website. We've got the link below in the show notes. And I'm super grateful and excited for our brand new sponsor, Holistic Wellness, and to be able to offer you a great CBD product that is organically grown in a greenhouse, never touches soil. It's actually grown hydroponically. And it's combined, like I said, in unique blends with herbs and plants that have additional benefits for your body, whether it's helping you go to sleep or it's helping you aid in digestion, or there is, like I said, the collagen, or it's the helping you relax or relieve the anxiety. And so super excited. Again, the code to save 25% off your holiday order is GFMOM, and we'll have the link and the code below in the show notes. Can I share with you a secret weapon for thriving through the holiday season, thriving through life, and just keeping my gut in check, right? This is Gluten Away from Just Thrive. I love their probiotics. I found them about 10 years ago. They're a female-owned company based right here in Chicago. And this Gluten Away product that they have is a combination that is my go-to for every meal that I eat out, all of my travel, whether I'm on an airplane or in a car, or even if I'm going to a friend's house and I'm just really not sure about the cross-contamination. This helps me keep my celiac disease and Crohn's disease in remission. And when I pair this with their probiotic each day, my gut is truly thriving. I have painless stomachs. I don't really have cramps anymore. I'm regular, which is awesome, right? Nobody really wants to get constipated. And I know that I have a healthy gut colony of good bacteria living in my microbiome. Just Thrive's probiotics are a unique blend of powerful digestive enzymes. Their probiotics are designed to support optimal digestion and protect against hidden sources of tummy troubles like gluten. This gluten away product has the enzyme protease in it, which is scientifically proven to break down the gluten protein to make it digestible, to make it less abrasive on the gut. The resilient probiotic spores support the complex and complete digestive process and help me alleviate inflammation in my body. Our whole family uses Just Thrive's probiotics, their products, and their gluten away. Even my girls, you can bake with their capsules by opening them on the probiotics. The gluten away enzyme, like I said, I take it anytime we're eating out. I take it at restaurants, at people's houses. Even put it in my morning coffee, right? You can open it, add it to your coffee if you're not sure about the creamer or something else. And with the probiotic, you can do the same. You can add it to your coffee. Did you guys know that spore-based probiotics can survive warm temperatures even? This is how it allows us to bake with them. They can cook up to 500 degrees. And this means you can even add them to the probiotics to your morning pancake batter. We have a special community discount code just for you from Just Thrive Probiotics and their family at Just Thrive. And so the code GFMOM, GFMOM, saves you 15% off your total purchase at their website. We will add that to the show notes. We would love for you to add a bottle of Just Thrive Gluten Away and a bottle of their probiotics to your cabinet, in your kitchen, and also to your purse this season. So you have it with you anytime you're eating out or you're at a friend's house or any celebration or holiday meal. And thank you again, Gluten Away, for being our podcast sponsor. And with that, we're going to head right into the show. All right. We're going to actually have a real conversation, you and I, and it's going to be fun. So I want to talk today about New Year's and what does it mean, and going into 2022 and the podcast, and how has everything kind of evolved, just so much, and garden planning, and I don't know. I've got so much stuff running through my head, and I was like, this is a great opportunity for us to have an intimate conversation. Grab a cup of coffee. I have a cup of coffee. It actually says snow day. I'm actually kind of wishing for a snow day, which I know is a little weird. In a few months, I'll be wishing for no snow at all. But today, I kind of want a snow day. I want to be snowed in. I want a fire in the fireplace in my office. I want to snuggle under blankets and read some more books. Speaking of books, I have a goal every year to read 40 books. I am sitting at book 38. So if you have 2 books this year or a book this year that you're like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was a fast read. Absolutely loved it. This podcast is coming out like the 28th of December. So I've got 4 days, 5 days, whatever it is, to get 40 books in. Shoot me a message. Tell me what that book was, and I would love to check it out. So that is that. I've done a lot of reading this year on gardening. One of my new favorite books was The Kitchen Garden Revival. And I'm hoping to have the author of that on the podcast this year, Nicole Burke. She is the owner of Gardenary, and she actually has a garden coaching school, which is really fun and cool. So check her out on Instagram as well. And then I've done a lot of reading on different spiritual topics, whether it's Akashic Records or it's, intuition in general, metaphysics, the nervous system, the soul, the mind, the prana, like all of these different topics. And it's been really fun. And then I did listen to some fiction. So I always like fiction. This year I took some picks off. Actually, I can flip. If you give me a moment to, I record all the books I read. So I keep a tally and a list, and I can actually track it. So let's see. In the fiction world, what did I read that was most recent in fiction? Because a lot of this is nonfiction, and a lot of it is around lean. And We Begin at the End. It was a mystery. I like mysteries. I like murder mysteries still. I've liked mysteries since I was a kid. So that was really fun. Eat Feel Fresh, one of my new favorite cookbooks, by the way, Sahara Rose. And thank you, Sahara Rose, for your podcast, because that's how I found your cookbook. Love, love, love your cookbook. Love the ease of it, and just love this whole idea. So Eat Feel Fresh was a cookbook that I bought that I loved. And you can make everything gluten-free, a few substitutions, but it's based on Ayurvedic medicine, produce, spices, herbs, garden stuff. It was just perfect. It was a perfect little cookbook. And yeah, so those are a couple of things that were really cool. One of the books at the beginning of the year that I found truly amazing, and last year, and I plan to do that this year, as soon as winter solstice is finished, which just finished, I'm going to pull out my gear. I'm going to start walking, even though it's cold out. Like I would walk last year as long as it was above 19 degrees. I'd put on the double gloves. I'd put on the coat, the scarf, the hats. I had a bright yellow hat, which I still have, with this bright colored reflective ball on top, because if it's dark out, you do need some reflective clothing. And a few of my friends, we would take turns and we would walk a 3-mile loop around the lake in the area and back to our subdivision. But one of the books I listened to while I was walking last spring was Wide Open. It was written by, I believe, Melissa from Australia. And it was just amazing to listen to. Really, really amazing book. So if you're looking for an audiobook, I would suggest Wide Open. And if you need an Audible subscription, or you need an Audible account, I will put a link in the show notes to my Audible affiliate link so that you can get some free books when you sign up for Audible. So I will add that to the show notes here. So we're going into January, right? And I got to look at this calendar, because that's how my brain is lately. It's just like all over the place because there's so much excitement. So much is dropped in. We have just finished recently, as I'm recording this, the first eclipse season, or in another eclipse season. And what is also very interesting to me is I started a spiritual business mastermind in March of 2021 with a group out of LA. And if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll send you the link. Absolutely love it. Love the community, love the coaching, but love that we're blending spirituality with our business and our values and our cores together. And part of doing that, along with reading Moonology, was starting to work with the moon when I set my goals or my intentions, really, right? They're called new moon wishes. So on the new moon, which is when there is no moon in the sky, it's completely blacked out because the sun and the moon are like overlapping exactly. So it's dark, right? That is when you make your big wishes. That's when you set your intentions. And if you have ever been through any business goal setting, you know that you always write your goals so that they're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, right? They're relatable, they're realistic, and they're timed. Smart, right? Business goals are smart. New moon wishes are not smart. They are like wild and crazy and not attainable. And it's like you're grasping for stars, but you still write them as if you already have them. So as if I'm grateful for, I'm super excited I have. You write them in past tense, even though they're like way out there, like way, way out there. So I'm going to give you some examples. So traveling to Florida, right? I didn't start out with being Florida, even though we've been to Florida for about 5 weeks total this year and 2 different trips. But it started out with the intention was spending 6 weeks at the beach, working from the beach, working in the tropics, just enjoying it, and then kind of just came true. And that's a whole story in itself. So that was one. Another one was starting a podcast. Like in March, when I started this business group, we were doing a meditation, which is where you just kind of sit in silence. You don't really think about anything and you listen, right? It's kind of like whispers from God or messages from the heavens, however you want to think about that, angels talking to you. And you just kind of sit there and you listen. And maybe it's after some breath work or it's after some movement so that your brain is just shut off, right? Your chatty little head is no longer talking to you for minutes. So you can actually clearly hear. And I heard podcast and I was like, oh no, no, no. And yet some of the girls in the mastermind already had a podcast. Some other people were like, yeah, I think I should start a podcast. And I'm like, okay, I heard the same thing, but I don't know what I'm doing. Well, here we are. And what's crazy is I said, I'll start the podcast in January 2022. Well, this is episode 6? And we're at the end of 2021. So I started 6 episodes in 2021, and then we're going into 2022 with some stuff already recorded and just funness there. Another one was I wanted a promotion at work. I wanted to be a director. And so I still have a corporate job if anybody's curious. Yes, if you jump on my LinkedIn profile, you're going to find, yes, I work a corporate job. I work around 51 hours a week, give or take. And how is that all doable? It's because we have work from home. It's because I have flex. I have a loving and amazing and empathetic boss who also has kids. And I get my work done. But anyway, so I wanted a promotion at work. And I didn't really know. I mean, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted. And then in June, I had a conversation with somebody about what I wanted. And they're like, yeah, that's not happening. I'm taking that job. And I was like, okay, screw you. I didn't say that to them, but that's what my head said. And then I was like, okay, God, universe, if this is meant to happen, it's your decision. I'm surrendering it. I'm letting it go. And so every so often in my new moon wishes, I would write down that I am grateful for being a director. I am grateful for the expanded opportunity. I am grateful for the expanded prosperity and abundance and the ability to influence and inspire and empower others to be better at their job. And in October, I got a call from somebody at work and they're like, hey, I want you to apply for this role. And I was like, oh, I don't want to herd goats. And if you're listening to this and we work together, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. But it was a role that I just was like, yeah, no. Thanks for thinking of me. Love it, but no. And then later on, I saw that they had a different open. And so I applied for the other open. And then at the same time, I had a conversation, right? A transparent conversation. And they're like, I really think you'd be good at this other role. And I was like, well, tell me more about it. Because what was written was not what the job was. That was so funny. A lot of times I think what we read or what gets put out there, and then we start to dive into it, is not really how it works day to day, or it's not really what it is. And I think a lot of people would say that about cooking or about gardening, like, oh, it has to be this and it has to be this. And so if you're making a pot of chili, it's beans, it's meat, it's tomatoes, it's spices, right? It's chili powder. But that doesn't have to be true just because it's written that way. you might go to Cincinnati and all of a sudden there's pasta in your chili. Or you may go out east and to like Brooklyn or New Jersey, there's no beans, it's just meat, right? So, or you might go to the west and all of a sudden there's black beans and there's like Tex-Mex in your chili and you're like, wait a minute. So it doesn't necessarily, what I'm saying is life isn't exactly what you read. Life isn't exactly what you think the first time. So I'm super excited. Actually on Monday, before you guys even hear this podcast, I start the new director role. Super, super excited. And I get to do what I love. I get to work in process. I get to work with people. I get to listen to them, voice a customer, and coach them to have better at what they do, better at what their responsibilities are. And so it's a blend of my worlds again, and I'm so excited for it. So that was another intuition thing and new moon wish that came through. So let's think about this, right? Yeah, I'd love for you to go grab a journal, like pause this for a second, or if you've got your earbuds in, just walk over and grab a journal and a pencil. So if you haven't already, what you want to do, we're sitting on, this is coming out the 28th. So we're sitting where we've already had the solstice, we've already had Christmas and Hanukkah and those holidays, but we're sitting where Kwanzaa began. Yeah, we're sitting in a good space, right? It's not quite the new year, but a lot of the stuff is past. A lot of the things that hustle and bustle is gone. So take a little bit of time now, after you listen to this, and kind of do these prompts. So first of all, write down everything that you accomplished, that you created, that happened for you in 2021. Even if it's small, like we built a sandcastle on the beach. I got to see a dolphin in nature. I found a feather every day I went for a walk. Like those are tiny things for some people and they're miracles for others. Or they're big things like publishing the holiday guide or self-publishing the Hacking Your Health 4-Day Detox book in January of last year, February, or finding a new virtual assistant. Like there's a lot of change happening in my life, right? Accomplishments could be a job promotion. It could be moving. It could be cleaning your closet out and donating all your work clothes that you no longer need because you're not going to the office. I don't know. Or whatever it is, right? Write down all of those. Write down everything you've accomplished, everything that came to you, everything you received, everything that has just been an amazing moment in your life, and just give that some thought. Once you have that all written down, I would encourage you to read it back to yourself and to actually feel like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And just kind of give gratitude. Like, I see you. I love you. I'm so grateful. This is amazing. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can light the paper on fire in a safe way, whether it's in a big kitchen pot or in your fireplace or outside fire pit, in a safe way. Light it on fire and watch the smoke tendrils go up to the universe, up to heaven, and continue to just say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Or depending on if you're in the yoga culture or not, with me, with Kundalini, it's a lot of Waheguru, 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 which is wow. It's just amazement, right? It's like hallelujah. So we'll chant both. And then the next thing I want you to think about from 2021 is, what were all the little things that triggered you? What were the things that made you stop? What were those little fears? And maybe take, 10 minutes and write some of that down. Did the fear of spending too much money stop you? Or the fear of getting sick while traveling so you didn't get on the airplane? Or the fear of getting stranded? This is one that actually got us, right? I'll be completely transparent. So we were going to Florida in November. We knew we were going in November. I did not buy airplane tickets. And then we had all of this like planes getting delayed, 1,000 planes canceled at the O'Hare airport, which we live 15 minutes from O'Hare. Like all of this happening. I'm like, all right, we're not taking a plane to Florida because I'm not getting stuck down there. Now, looking back, being stuck in paradise, why would I not want that? Like, oh, I can't get out. I just said, I have to spend an extra couple weeks here. But in reality, we didn't do that because of this little fear in my head that was like, oh, you're not going to be able to get home. The planes are going to be canceled. It's going to be a big, chaotic mess. So we drove, and the driving was great, to be honest. I love a good road trip. It was a 2-day road trip. It was awesome. The girls got to walk around downtown Nashville in about 6 o'clock in the evening and see all the lights on Music City Row. And we had great barbecue in Nashville and got to go through the Smoky Mountains and see the colors in the fall. Like, there were some really awesome opportunities on our drive. But the reason we drove was because I was afraid. So what are those things that in 2021 you were afraid of? What are those things that stopped you? And the thing, after you get this list made, you need to go back and say, are any of these part of my core beliefs? Are any of these part of what I really think is truth? Is it part of my core? Is it something I believe because that's just what I believe, right? And then I want you to go back and I want you to really read those core beliefs. Do you really believe that in order to make money, it has to be hard? Do you really believe that in order to lose weight, you have to have blood, sweat, and tears? These are beliefs that people have. Do you believe that you can't lose weight unless you count calories? Do you believe that there will never be enough money, so you have to save and scrounge and be Scrooge all the time? Do you believe that you can't make money because it came too easy? Whatever it is you produced, your service, your product. Do you guys believe any of that? Look at the ones that you have these core beliefs around. And if any of them are bullshit, call it. Grab a pen, grab a red pen. How about that? Get a red pen. Take it out, draw a line through that belief that you just wrote down and write bullshit right on top of it. And yes, this has earned the E. It is not kid friendly now because I just cussed, but it's the truth. If you have a core belief that is bullshit and you've still believed it in 2021, and we don't want to take it with us any further, we don't want to take that into the new year. It's stopping you from your greatness. It's stopping you from where you're headed in life. I want you to then take that and I want you to rewrite it. Rewrite it so it's true for you now, not old belief, not bad pattern, not whatever it is. So, right, let's take the example of in order to make money, it has to be hard. Well, what if we change that and the new affirmation becomes money comes easily with play in the perfect way, right? And if you've never read The Word is Your Wand by Florence Shinn, I'm going to advise that you go get that book, either in Audible or in print. I've read it probably 50 times to date, but go get The Word is Your Wand. It's on Amazon. It's an amazing book. And there's a reason why you want to start changing your language and you want to start not using apostrophe words like can't and shouldn't and things like that. But anyway, so now write an affirmation that is what you want your belief to be. So money comes easy with playfulness in the perfect way, right? Rewrite all of those bullshit ones into something new and come up with new affirmations. And I want you to write those affirmations on special paper. On maybe it's paper that has roses in it, or it's paper that you've put in the cabinet because it's just so pretty, or it's special because it has your name on the top and it's got your own header, or it's paper that, anyway, find some special paper, rewrite those affirmations on new paper because you're going to want to read those throughout the year. You're going to want to read those anytime you get triggered. And then that group of bullshit, go light that on fire. Let that go. Get that out of here. Burn that up. Tell it you're done with it. You appreciated its lessons. You appreciated what it gave you, but it's gone. Goodbye. See you later. Don't come back. Burn it up. All right. Moving forward, right? So we've got our accomplishments, our gratitude. We've got everything that made us get stuck. We got all our bullshit taken care of. We're done. Now, 2022. Here we come. 2022. This is like the funnest thing for me. First of all, you have to get real with yourself. Step one out of the gate, you got to get real with yourself, right? Yes, you got to have big wishes. You got to have what they call big, hairy, audacious goals or throw up goals. We'll get to those. But before we get to those, you got to get real with yourself. So one of the first things that I do every year is I calculate my net worth. And even my husband's like, I need your formula. I'm like, it's nothing special. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a scientist. It is, what are my assets at the top? right? And so what are assets? Assets are things that are of value. So what's your home worth if you own a house or you own a condo or you own whatever? What's the actual, and I just go to Zillow. You go anywhere. What's the value of your house? How much is in your savings account? What's in your 401k? Do you have any money sitting in anywhere else? CDs, equities, anything like that. What are your assets? Total that up. What are your liabilities? What do you owe? What do you owe on that house? What do you owe on your credit cards? What do you owe on your car payment? What do you owe anybody else? Do you have medical bills? Do you have outstanding other debts? Do you have other personal loans? Write all of that down. That's your liabilities. Now, take your assets, subtract the liabilities. That bottom number is your net worth. For some of us, because property values have whooped, our net worth is doubled in a year. And that was one of my realizations. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm worth twice as much as I was last year. Part of that is not just net worth. Part of that is paying off liabilities, getting out of credit card debt, right? Part of that is making more money because you have how much you make every year. So your savings may have grown or your 401k may have grown, or your stock options may have been fully realized or something like that, right? So things change. And I will say the more you have faith, the more you believe, the more work you do on yourself, the more you give, the more you receive. And so you're going to start to see year over year, your net worth is going to grow, and it's pretty cool. So do that first. Then I want you to write a list. And I normally did this with coaching clients, with stick people. I would say grab 2 sheets of paper, but you can do it with words. You don't have to draw stick people. How do you feel right now? Do you have headaches? Do you have back pain? Do you feel fat? Do you feel grumpy? Do you feel cold? Whatever it is, write it down. Do you feel excited? Do you feel happy? Do you feel, I don't know, anticipation? But then write down in 2022, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel energetic, radiant, vibrant? Do you want to feel skinny? Do you want to feel energized? Do you want to feel happy? Do you want to feel joy, bliss? Do you want to feel the sunshine on your face? Write all of that down. So let's get clear on how we feel currently and how we want to feel. Then I want you to tell me, what do you need to get those feelings? Do you need exercise? Do you need a better diet? Do you need more vegetables? Do you need vitamins? Do you need sunshine? Do you need time off work? What do you need to get over here to all those awesome things that you want to have in 2022? Okay. And I know I'm going through this fast. So again, have your pen and paper or pause the podcast, totally fine. And then just do the exercise and then come back to it. Then I want you to make a circle, which is a clock, but it's a 24-hour clock. And I want you to divide how you spend your time currently. Do you spend 9 hours at work, 9 hours in bed, 4 hours on your phone, on social media? Is that your day? And then how do you want to spend those 24 hours? And draw that same thing with your 24-hour clock. How do you want to spend it? Maybe you really want to sleep 8 hours. You want to do a workout for a half hour, 45 minutes. You want to spend 20 minutes getting ready in the morning. You want to spend 7.5 hours doing your work. You want to spend 30 minutes in nature or in the garden. Map that out. Okay, so we're starting to say, what are we worth? Because we're all worthy of everything and even more. What does our body look like now? What does it we want it to feel like and look like? How do we get there? What do we need? How do we want to spend our time? Now, what I want you to do is make 10 huge wishes. What do you want to happen in 2022, in the next 12 months? What is it? Do you want an $80,000 raise? Yes, that's, it's physical, but you can have 3D wishes. Do you want to spend 6 months in Croatia? Do you want to have a garden? Do you want to double the size of your garden? Do you want to grow your own food for every salad? Do you want to go out and pick your own salad every day? Do you want to spend more time with your kids? Do you want to spend less time with your kids? Do you want to travel? Do you want to have radiant skin? Do you want to lose 10 pounds? Do you want to feel bliss every morning you wake up? Do you want to watch the sunrise every morning? Do you want to have your own morning ritual during sadhana? What do you want? Write down 10 things that you want. 10 things that are like far-fetched, but they could still come true. Don't let your ego get in the way and tell you that they can't come true. Write them all down. We're going to come back to those. Now, the next step might take you a little while. I would tell you to do this all in one day and actually to do it in an hour. So if you need to set time up to do this in an hour, then set the time aside, turn on some music, get out a pen, get out your magic paper, and write down 100 things to do in 2022. And I do this with the girls. So it might be kayaking, it might be baking cookies, it might be making cupcakes, it might be finding a worm in the dirt, taking a walk in nature, walking barefoot in the river, building a sandcastle. 100 things you want to do in 2022. They can be anything and everything. They can be dreams. Maybe one's to fly to the moon. You can do that if you buy a ticket with Elon Musk. Whatever they are. 2022, 100 things to do. Make that list. Okay. Now, we're going to go back to those 10 things that you want to happen in 2022. Those big things. I want you to write those 10 things as if they've already come true with the feeling. So you're going to say, I am so grateful that whatever the thing is, and I feel amazing, right? So I am so grateful I got to fly to Turkey to shop on the Silk Road. It was so vibrant. It was colorful. The smells, how did it feel? Oh, it felt just warming to my soul. It felt enthusiasm. It was just, I was in awe, right? Write it all in past tense, right? I am so grateful my garden produced me the greens and the vegetables every single day that I was able to pick a salad and eat it every day for lunch as I worked from home. It was truly amazing. I am so grateful. Thank you. So, okay. So you write your own. Write those out for the 10. Again, use your magic paper. Okay. And if a lot of you are like, Tiffany, I don't have magic paper. All right, let's make some magic paper, right? How do you make magic paper? If you don't have magic paper, why don't you get some parchment? Right? Or get some cardstock or whatever you have. And why don't you spritz it with some essential oil or some witch hazel or light a white candle, drop a little bit of rose petals on the candle top, like on a votive, and then wave the paper in the smoke and infuse your paper with the smoke of love, right? Roses are love. Rosemary. I love rosemary. I started wearing rosemary essential oils. I started putting rosemary in the bath. Rosemary for me is like invigorating and spontaneity and prosperity. And I'm just in love with rosemary right now. So same thing. I can take a votive, a white votive, right? We want light energy. Put some dried rosemary on there. It can come out of the spice cabinet. It doesn't have to be from the garden. And then wave your paper in the smoke and infuse your paper with the magical properties of rosemary. Then go write your wishes on your magic paper. So that could even be an activity you do with your kids. Like, let's make magic paper. You could also find a recipe on the internet to pulp some paper down, like take some construction paper or some cardstock and some water, pulp it in your blender, right? Or in your Vitamix, add some herbs or some rose petals or something else from nature, birch bark maybe, pulp that all together and then lay that out flat, right? Just like they tell you to do. Squeeze out all the water and let it dry. And then you'll create paper, real paper. That can be magic paper. So get some magic paper. I actually have a pad of paper that has rose petals in it from a fair trade store. And it was a gift from somebody that loves me. So that to me is even more magical because it's already filled with gratitude and blessings and love. And then the paper has got the rose petals in it. And so I love to use that paper to write down my wishes, to write down my intuition, to write down my affirmations. But everything we just talked about is how you go into 22 with expectancy, with gratitude, with joy for what's to come. And you can go back and read those affirmations, those 10 things every day. You could put them in a frame and hang it on the wall so you look at them. You could put them on your bathroom mirror, but just continue to look at them. They're going to come true as long as you believe. As long as you believe and you give continued gratitude, when the time is right, they will come to you. and you have to be open to receive them. They might come in a weird way. There might be a weird person that knocks on your door and hands you something that you wanted, or a friend of yours like mine might call and say, hey, I need a house sitter. And I thought she was talking about her house here in Chicago, and she meant her condo in Florida. And we were like, oh yeah, we're there. They might come unexpectedly, but they will come. Have faith and believe it, and just continue to read and give gratitude for them for being here. All right, I'm going to flip topics. This has been so fun talking about guiding your way into 22 with intuition, with using your gut, with putting into it a little bit of magic, a little bit of power behind, right? Using your herbs and your spices and getting it all together. But so what does this mean for 2022 for me? It means that GF Mom Certified is gardening. We're homesteading. We are talking about growing our own food. We are pairing foods and herbs for medicinal purposes. We're using herbalism full out. You're going to see recipes like in the January stuff coming out. Like, we're going to do monthly recipes. They're going to come out the monthly recipe, yes, on Instagram, in our text messaging. So if you're not signed up for our text messaging, you're going to want to sign up for that. They will be also be posted on our blog. They're going to be featured in a couple of magazines. I'm still writing a column for the local Natural Awakenings magazine, which later today I got to shoot some stuff for them, some video. So we're going to be doing chai tea. I'm giving this away because it's only a few days before January, but the January recipe is going to be a chai tea concentrate that you make from scratch with whole spices in water and black tea. And then you make the concentrate that you can use in baking. So you can make chai tea muffins, pancakes, things like that. You can mix it with hot milk. You can make chai tea coffee. Anyway, lots of stuff you can do with a chai tea concentrate. I'm going to teach you how to make it so you can use organic things. You can use spices you grew in your garden. And it's going to be super fun. Okay. We are also in January hosting a webinar. You're going to be able to sign up over on Podia. There'll be links in the show notes underneath. We're going to do a webinar in January on planning out your garden. So you're going to want to have graph paper and colored pencils and maybe a seed catalog or two. And so if you haven't ordered your seed catalog, go out to Junk Seeds, go to Johnny, Select Seeds, and request a catalog from them. Hop on their website and get some seed catalogs. We've got an Instagram post going up here shortly around requesting seed catalogs as well, because you're going to want those catalogs to do a lot of things, from making dream boards, which you can do by cutting out pictures of what they're going to look like. And you can actually make your garden in pictures by cutting the seed catalog up. You're going to need the seed catalog to look at germination time, when to plant, what zone is it for, because I'm in zone 4 or 5, right? We're at the top of Illinois. Traditionally it's 5, but sometimes it's zone 4 if it's a colder summer. And so a lot of that fun stuff. Then we're going to be talking about starting seeds in the house in February and getting your indoor seed pods going, or your indoor greenhouses, and getting that started. We're going to talk about building raised beds and soil mixtures for raised beds. I personally find that raised beds are easier. I don't need one of those huge rototillers, and I can build them any size I want. I have a small one that's 3 foot by 1 foot. I've got bigger ones that are 4 feet by 8 feet. We've got 3 feet by 8 feet. And because they're wooden, they hold all the dirt above. So again, you don't need the big rototiller, but you can also then choose what kind of compost is in there. You can choose the type of dirt. You can choose to put, different fertilizers and water, things to retain more water, or things to not let them flood, right? You can put in perlite or vermiculite. We'll talk all about that in March. We'll talk about raised beds. We'll talk about what soils you might need to get and mix, and ways to order those soils, so you can just drive up to Home Depot and they put them in your trunk. You don't even have to lift them. I mean, there's some secrets I got to share with you as I've been a gardener for over 40 years. Oh my gosh, it's crazy to think about that. But yes, gardening for over 40 years. House plants are definitely a new thing for me, but we are getting more and more plants in my office, and they are somewhat successful and somewhat not. I'm really good with orchids lately. They've got them to reflower after they've flowered, and so I'm in love with orchids. But we are doing a lot more stuff inside and outside, and we will see if we end up with a greenhouse outside. I kind of want to get a greenhouse and put it on. We have a huge concrete patio and put it on a section of the patio. So we'll see if that comes up. But those things are coming. And again, places you're going to want to watch for me in the new year is definitely Instagram. I've deleted Facebook off my phone. So if you were following us on Facebook, just know that we're not there anymore. I'm going to delete and close the Facebook groups that I was running for part of the Thrive Clean stuff because I am closing Thrive Clean. If you've got the stuff, awesome. Keep doing it. It works. It's just not for me right now, and I'm not feeling it, so it's going away. So Instagram for sure. Podcast, we're here for you. We're going to talk and been doing a lot of interviews with business owners because it's winter, but going to be doing some interviews with gardening and seed companies and just so fun. We may even shoot a few podcasts out in the garden. We'll see if we can make that happen. We're gonna figure out sound outside. And I have an idea to interview somebody that gardens in the city of Chicago as well. So I've got to see if that can happen. There's this my head's the gears are flying inside. We're going to be doing recipes, like I said, every single month, and they'll come out on the blog. They'll come out through texting, but we're also going to be doing recipes that use produce that's in season, that use herbs for certain medicinal properties and healing properties. And we'll dive in and talk about those in the month of January. We're going to talk about cloves. And so I'm giving away some secrets, but it's all good. And then hopefully, if everything works out, we'll compress all of that content together. And next year, around this time in the holiday season, we'll have a Green Witch holiday guide. Actually, it might be a Green Witch annual guide. I don't know. We'll see what comes. It'll be probably, I'm guessing, as much as I'd love for it to be published, it'll probably be self-published. But, maybe I'll put it out there in my wishes to have a publisher reach out to build a book around gardening for a year, right? I'm reading a new book that's called The Year of the Witch, and it's about the circle and how to build a circle around the year, right? And building in your climates, your holidays, your special days, your growing seasons, your moon patterns, your cycles on this circle. So that might be kind of fun to build a year of a garden. I don't know. Lots of fun stuff coming and playing. So this has been exciting. This has been fun. Thank you again for listening. And we'll be back next Tuesday with a new episode. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Share with me your favorite part and what it was, and share when you try the rituals around releasing 2021 and opening up 2022 for expansive growth and new affirmations. Ask me any questions you have. I'm here for you, and I'm excited to see all your benefits. Satnam, I love you guys. So if you love this episode, remember to share it with your friends. Send it to anyone who may love this inspiration and information that we shared. My call to action for you today is to jump over to Podia, which is our online platform, right? So you're going to go to tiffanyhinton.podia.com. Sign up for our masterclass. Sign up for our gardening masterclass. Get the downloads you need to get planning your garden. Sign up for our webinar that's coming out in January that you'll be able to join live online. And we're actually going to go through a planning activity together on that webinar. And I think it's going to be really fun, but I would encourage you, if you are new to gardening, to register for a gardening consult with me. I will tell you that you've got about 3 days from the time this episode comes out before prices go up. So right now, the gardening consult for 90 minutes to sit down with me online, plan out your garden, talk about your health, and find out what plants may benefit your health and which ones you should plant this year based on where you live in the United States, and herbs and perennials that you can have come back year after year to help your health heal. We're going to put all that together. We're going to map it out and send you back a drawn picture of your garden and how you can get it planted and growing. You're going to want to sign up for a Green Witch gardening consult. Right now, they are only $125. After January 1st, actually on January 1st, if everything works out, the prices are going to jump to over $200. So now is the time to sign up for your Green Witch gardening consult. And there is some really fun stuff there. And we'll do it all online. We can get your garden planned out in the next few months, and we'll get that scheduled. And it'll be super fun. So I'm excited to work with you on getting your gardens planned for 2022.